Well, it is not easy training and taking care of a four-legged family member. That's why we have animal behaviorist Wendy Ma here to help us with our pets. She's here today to answer some viewer questions. And good morning to you, Wendy and Brody.
Good morning.
And this morning is more about puppies and how to take care of the growing pains and what to do, because it's not easy to take care and train a four-legged family member.
It's not as easy as everybody thinks. We just buy it and live with it.
But no, it's not like that at all. So, okay, the first question is, I have a 4-month-old puppy who is very fearful of just about everything and doesn't want to go outside for walks. He shakes with loud noises, new things or people. I've taken him a few times to the dog park to socialize. He plays with the other dogs for a few minutes, then ends up between my legs for the rest of the time. What can I do to help him become more confident?
Well, first, I want to congratulate the owner for recognizing that there is a big problem, and it is a big problem. Sounds like his puppy is very shy, very fearful of a lot of things. His efforts to deal with the problem, again, I commend him, but it's not really in the best way for his puppy. Dog parks are good places. It's fun. Dogs have a good time. But to socialize a shy or fearful dog, it's not the appropriate place to go, because he has no control over how the dogs meet, what the temperament of the dogs at the dog park are.
Right.
Better if he has maybe some friends or relatives with the dog, and he brings them together one at a time at a slower pace where his puppy can deal with it, and that will build the puppy's confidence. And that's what we really need to do with a shy or fearful dog, is really work on building their confidence in dealing with the noises and the other dogs and people. Again, at the dog park, we can't always control what the other dog owners are going to do with your puppy, but a friend or a relative, we can ask them, can you just wait till my puppy is confident enough to come up and see you? Most people just want to come up and greet a dog. Which, if your dog is confident, it's not a problem. And
it almost sounds like a child, because if your child's shy and you want that child to kind of come out more and show its personality, you don't want to bring them to a playground where there's tons of kids, right? You want to do play dates, something small and intimate, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, so the next question. My dog is 14 months old and still chews on everything in the house. I thought she'd be over her teething by now. Is she still teething? And what can I do about her chewing on my things? I'm concerned she will swallow something she shouldn't.
Yeah, teething should be done. All of the adult teeth should be in and fully extended by 6 months old. The viewer didn't say what kind of dog. Now, if it's a small dog, sometimes small dogs do retain their puppy teeth. So if they haven't looked in their mouth recently, look in there, make sure that you only have one set of teeth, because teething can continue if there's discomfort in the mouth. But let's say that there are none. We just have our adult teeth. We want to really encourage the puppy to chew on appropriate things, not to stop it, but to chew on appropriate things. So get a bunch of bully sticks, Himalayan cheese sticks, Nylabones, those kinds of things that are, hard, they can really get their teeth into, and go ahead and get several. When I say several, sometimes my clients come back with 2. Get 2 dozen. And really, really encourage your dog to chew on those things and puppy-proof the house while you're doing this, so she doesn't chew up things she shouldn't and swallow it and then have to have surgery to remove it from her stomach.
Okay, I know we're out of time, but I want to sneak in one question, and my producer Christy's going to kill me, just because I think a lot of people can deal with this one. My puppy is stubborn. She knows she's not supposed to do certain things, but she still does it. How do I get her to obey when I tell her what to do?
Basically, very short, she doesn't know what to do. Puppies, dogs, they want to please us if they know what to do. So she may do the behavior, occasionally. That doesn't mean she knows it strongly like a habit. So keep training her, be patient, and it'll happen.
Patience, that's the key word. Thank you again, Wendy
You're
and Brody,
welcome.
for being here. It's really good. Very good, Brody. Thank you. All right, thanks for watching. We'll be right back after this.